No, I'm joking. I do read. I've got family.
There are some very dodgy calls coming through at the moment. I had one yesterday from an 07950 mobile number telling me that somebody had got my national insurance number.
Oh, it's all black.
You know,
right. I think we're live.
Okay.
But I tell you what, Tracy, right. Hey, welcome, guys. Sorry about that. Me and Tracy were mid-flow. We were talking about scams. Yeah. And thank you for joining us today on the Love Sales Hate Selling Facebook business page. We've got Tracy Lee, who offers business support services. But before we dive into the questions, Tracy, just tell us about this scam that you had, or this that tried to scam you. What happened?
It was a normal-looking mobile phone number, not in my contacts, obviously.
Yeah.
And then you pick it up and it's a recorded message, isn't it? Very serious sounding.
Yeah.
English, so making you think that they are from HMRC, I suppose.
Yeah.
Saying your national insurance number has been compromised and it's very, very serious. And obviously you have options to press. So I just disconnected immediately because I'm sure one of them was to give out my bank details.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of I don't know how they get away with it. They actually have, like you say, these mobile numbers which look like normal numbers, and it's either a recorded message or it's a call center. I never actually say hello. I just answer the phone and just just wait to see who speaks first.
The trouble is, even if you block it, they get another number. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I've got hundreds of blocked numbers on my phone. So. Anyway, guys. So we digress ever so slightly. I do apologise. But was in mid-flow. We had to finish the conversation. I couldn't just stop you like that. But Tracy, thank you so much for joining me today on Love Sales Hate Selling, the business owner interview. As you know, we're just nosy. We want to find out a little bit more about your business and some of the things that you've gone through. No, you're very busy, so we'll dive straight in. But Tracy, could you tell the people watching what you do for a business?
Yeah, that's the dreaded question. Basically, I help and support people in running their business so that they can focus on what they're good at. So my background is in business and financial administration. I trained as a PA many years ago when we still had to do shorthand. And I've worked in lots of different companies. I've worked in the public sector and the private sector for individuals and for companies with 300 employees.
Wow.
And so I can help with looking at systems and processes. I can devise new systems and put them in if needed. I can assist with financial administration, such as doing your self-assessment, your bookkeeping or your record keeping for that. I can look at pensions admin. I can put together marketing material and proofread it.
Wow.
Proofread your website. I can guide you through ISO certification. I've actually done that for a client. I've been working with them for several years. I'm not an ISO expert, but I can basically get the work done for 9001 and 14001.
That's not the cost, is it?
Funnily enough. Yeah, so basically I can even sort of organise your office space. People sometimes just say, can you just come and sort me out? And they want me to just get them organised. And I can go in and help people on an ad hoc basis, or I can help on a regular basis. So
wow, so you almost sound like the kind of right-hand woman for any business owner who needs help, support, maybe wants to take a helicopter view of the whole kind of thing. And I mean, do you have a kind of ideal type of company you like to work with in terms of size, in terms of niche? No,
I don't, because to be honest with you, they all have, all companies have similar issues to deal with. They've all got paperwork to deal with. They've all got the stuff that nobody wants to do. Oh, yeah. So, and that's actually how I got into doing this, because I was working down in London for a company with, I think we had about 200 employees there, and it was 5 different companies, and I worked as the PA to the chief exec. And I just said to him, there are various things in this company that aren't being done that we need to do. Yeah. And we had people identified to do the work, but they weren't doing it because they hadn't got time. And it was things like putting a proper health and safety procedure in place.
Yeah.
The pensions admin was a mess.
Yeah.
So everybody had been assigned these things, but they all had other jobs that took priority. So the work wasn't getting done. Yeah. So we sort of created a new role, which was an admin manager. Right. And he basically said to me, right, if you need to earn your salary in cost savings and then some, and we'll review it in a year.
Sounds like a sales job, that.
Exactly. Anyway, I did. So.
Oh, fantastic. So, obviously you had a job, you're comfortable, you're kind of like, in that comfort zone where the settee's nice and cozy and the fire's warm and there's food being brought to you. So what inspired you to kind of do it yourself and start your own business?
Well, we got married. My husband and I got married, and we left London because neither of us come from there. So we knew there was life north of the Watford Gap. So we decided to leave. And we also wanted to have a bigger house because the house we had was very small. And we thought if we start a family, you know, we need room to swing a cat, really.
Of course.
So that's why we moved up here. And I did have a job up here. And then I just thought, I need more flexibility if I'm going to have a baby, you know, and I don't want to get a job and then, you know, have to go on maternity leave after a year because it's just irritating, you know. So I thought I'd prefer to be self-employed. So what I did was the company I worked for up here was not doing very well, and I could see the writing on the wall there. So I decided to do some temp work. And so I did temp work for a bit. And then what really made me take the jump was I saw the invoice from the agency. And I saw what I was being paid and what they were paying.
Oh, yeah.
So I went to see them and went, I'll tell you what, how about I charge you this and we pick a figure in the middle and it's a win-win. And they went, yeah, that's fine. So it kind of, it went from there, really.
Fantastic. I mean, I used to do recruitment, slavery, slavery, same thing. And yeah, I mean, some of the margins are absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, it was massive. It was massive. It was almost double what they would get. You know, and that's fine. They got, you know, I've got friends in that business. They've got a business to run, you know.
Oh, they've got overheads and the thing.
Absolutely. But also for me, you know, there's pros and cons, because I did say to them, look, the thing is, if you want me, you'll get me if you're going to employ me directly. If you just want anybody to come in, use an agency, and they will send someone else. I said, because the downside is if I can't come because I'm not well or whatever it is, then I can't come.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
But you know, that was it back in 2001.
Oh, fantastic.
And it's been all right since then.
Exactly. I mean, 20 years later, and you're still kind of
like,
well done. Yeah. So tell us about some of the challenges that you've had to overcome with the business. Well,
I think, to be honest with you, this is a personal thing, but it's really impacted on my business. So we had our son back in 2003, which was great. And so I managed to fit work in around that, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to be self-employed. But then when he was 2, he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and celiac disease. So the diabetes was obviously not great, which meant having to inject him, and all very different now, but yeah, it was horrible. It was really horrible. And that's a kind of massive, very steep learning curve. So anyway, you know, you get on with it because you do, excuse me. But the impact of that was that we don't have a lot of family around here. I've got an aunt and uncle, and that's about it, really. So I didn't have help with childcare. And then obviously when you also have a child with a medical condition, the childcare is very limited. Now, I was very lucky in that I had found a childminder locally who is now a really, really good friend of ours anyway. She actually was the one who said, he's not well, you need to take him to the doctor. Because she had her own kids and she'd looked after. And I knew something was, kids are funny, you know, one day they're fine, then they're not. And this is what he was like. That's why we hadn't really picked up on it. So she helped me out no end, and she was prepared to learn how to inject him and test him, which was brilliant. But it impacts on your availability for work.
Of course.
And then when I am working, I get a phone call when he was at school or nursery to say, something well, can you come and get him? So that's been probably the biggest thing work-wise. But I've been so lucky because whenever I've been to work with anyone, I've made it very clear that he's priority.
Of course.
You know, and I've also done work that could be done in the background. I've always said to them, look, don't have me in to do stuff that's really crucial you to run your business. If I can't come in, I will come, but I might not be able to come that day. I can come another day. So let me only do stuff that will help you. But if it doesn't get done Tuesday, it can get done on Thursday. You know?
I really like how you've kind of defined your journey. You decided, right, you know, things need to happen. Things need to be different. Things need to be done in the order that I want, not in the order that, you know, the traditional world goes. And you almost, you kind of defined your career for yourself and says, right, these are my big rocks. these are these are immovable, and this is what I could, and that's really, really positive, because it shows that you can actually have the path that you want to walk if you kind of choose to it, and you kind of have the guidance and the know-all to kind of do it. So well done.
Yeah, the other thing I've said though, and I've said this at other networking things as well, is that what's been easier for me is that I wasn't the major breadwinner. John was, and he always has been. So that is a massive issue. That takes a lot of pressure off. But we also said, when we moved up here, the plan was that, if we had a child, one of us would be at home looking after them, because we didn't want to both be working.
Of course.
I was old. I was 39 when I had him, and so we just said, if we're going to have a child, one of us has got to put the work in. That's just how we viewed it, really. But at the same time, it's a bit boring. Those days when you're just at home and getting up and happy changing and doing and I found it. I did struggle with it. I really struggled with it. But the school years have just flown. He's now in sixth form.
They do, don't they, when they're at school? It's almost like they're at school, because what you got to think with schools is that they literally have 6 weeks and they're off, 6 weeks and they're off. And if you look at it like that, it breaks the whole year up. So you're kind of measuring your year on school holidays. I remember my kids were like at school, and it's like 1 year just merged. It's almost like COVID. One year merged into another.
And I'll tell you something. The amount of times I've said to friends, my God, all that time they spent at antenatal class talking about the birth, no one talked about school holidays. And I went, that baby's going to come out one way or another. And I said, that's the least of your problems. Childcare is a massive issue.
Yes.
And actually, if you have a family and then you're trying to work, it's really, really difficult, I think.
Absolutely.
And whenever I see these high-flying people, especially high-flying women, I always go, she's got a nanny. She's got a nanny. You can't do it otherwise. Or you have lots of family support.
I suppose it depends as to where your priority lies, because I imagine there are some people whose career is everything and the kids do become secondary. But well done for you, because you defined your path.
I knew I hadn't got the support. I'm a very practical person, and my aunt and uncle helped out, and Alison, who is my very dear friend now, was fantastic in terms of helping look after Will. But I knew that if I got the phone call, I had to go. And I knew that John wouldn't be able to go because he works in construction, so he has to stay on site, otherwise the site closes. But I've been very lucky, and all of my clients have been very understanding, really.
Fantastic. And I think because, again, you set your boundaries out from the off, there's no kind of grey areas. It's not like you're going in and then things happen. It's like, right, this may happen. I'm telling you now. So, good stuff. So, my favourite question, actually. Tell us one thing about you but not many people know.
Do you mean not many people generally, or not many people in our group?
I don't know. What's going to be the most?
Okay, I'll tell you something interesting then.
Oh, go on then.
Not many people, no, people in the group won't know about, and that was that I went backpacking around the world.
Oh, you're frozen. Oh, you're frozen, Tracy. We have a technical hitch. Just as Tracy was about to tell us about her exploits around the world. Oh, you're back. You're back.
Yes, I'm back. Sorry, you froze as well there.
Oh, did I? Right. Yeah. So it froze. I went backpacking around the world and then it stopped. So go on, if you tell us again. Can
you hear me? Because I've got this weird message saying my internet connection is unstable. I don't know why.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I went. John, who is now my husband, wasn't then. He was a friend of my sister and her husband, and he was going backpacking. So I was chatting to him at this party sometime, and I just said, well, if you want any company, I'll come with you. And he went, what? I said, well, I've sold my flat and I need to leave my job. I love it, and I'll probably never leave because this is when I was working in Nottingham. And he just went, oh, okay. Now, knowing him now as I do, I am amazed he ever picked the phone up and rang me, because it's completely out of character. But he rang me one day at work and just said, so do you want to come or what? And I went, what? You know? And he said, well, if you want to come, you can. So I did. So he went off and went around South America. Yeah. And then I met him in Los Angeles 3 months later.
Yeah.
Because there was a big thing on at work and I wanted to stay and get it all done. Right, I can't believe I missed out on South America for that, but there you go. And then off we went. And we went off through the South Pacific, which was wonderful. And we went to New Zealand and Australia, and then we went up through Thailand and Bali, and Singapore, not in that order, obviously. And then I actually came back because I got to a point where I couldn't look at any more temples. I was templed out. And we were due to go to India.
Right.
And I just said to him, I can't do India at the moment because I want it to blow my socks off and I'm actually too tired. We'd been away for 9 months.
Wow.
And I said, I can't do it. I need to do India another time. And so I came back and he came back about 2 months later. And then we just went our own ways for sort of 6 years. And then we got together again and then we got married and then we went back to the South Pacific and got married on the beach.
Bloody hell, what a love story. Oh my God, that's amazing. I like your John. Are you coming or what?
Do you know what? Oh, he did. He basically said, "Are you coming? Do you want to come?" And but then the marriage proposal was me lying against him on the sofa because I had bronchitis, and we were talking about whether we were going to live in his house or my house, and we couldn't because I was in Kingston in this tiny house, and he was in this slightly bigger but still small house in Rotherhithe. And I went, well, I don't know, I wasn't feeling very well. And then he said, well, anyway, we're talking about where we're going to live. Are we going to get married then or what? And I went, if you like. I know, if you like. And he went,
where is your John from originally? What part of the UK?
Wiltshire. Wiltshire. So he's very laid back.
I was going to say, because he sounds more like a northerner with that kind of
right. Are we getting
married or what?
No, he didn't know. That's me saying it like that. He would have said, we're getting married then or what?
I like John. I'm going to interview John next. So if somebody was looking to start a business right now, what kind of 3 pearls of advice would you give them that they need to kind of consider or look out for? Or
I would tell them to check out the competition and look at supply and demand for what they're doing. If there's going to be financial outlay, then they need to do a proper business plan. But then they just need to go for it. Because
Boom.
I think, you know, they always say you regret what you don't do, not what you do. And,
Exactly.
you know, I'm not suggesting anybody should go throwing loads and loads of money. But I did work for somebody years ago, and his company helped people get products to market. And this was probably 15 years ago now. And he said to me, if they are not prepared to invest £10,000, there's no point. Because they've got to be prepared to do that. So I think that's the only thing, you know, you've got to be realistic about it and see how much you've got to be prepared to take a risk, I guess.
And you know, you're so right. It's all about taking action. In fact, I had a conversation with a business owner yesterday, and we went through a bit of an overview, and I gave a few kind of things, pointed out a few things, and it's really nice. This morning, I've kind of woke up to a friend request, accepted it, and she's done what we spoke about, and it's made such a massive difference to the whole message in terms of it's now clear what she's offering, whereas before it was like, well, what do you do? And it's action. It's all about action. You take action, things happen. If you procrastinate and sit there thinking, well, what if? Well, guess what? What if means nothing. And
the thing is, you can talk yourself in and out of things, I think.
Of course.
You know, you just can. And sometimes you've got to go with your gut. A friend of mine, she launched her own perfume range a couple of years ago, and she's just done it. And I know it's cost her a lot of money to do it, but she said, if I didn't do this, I'd regret it for the rest of my life.
And that's it. Who wants to be on their deathbed going, if only? You know, life is too short. And, you know, I'm going to do a post around why I do what I do, because mine is very much based on you in that you live once. You actually only live once. You get one chance. There's no dress rehearsal. No. Everything you do is unscripted. Just go and do it. Be the star of your own film, which is your life.
Well, isn't there that saying? It's not better to have loved and lost, but it's, you know, you can say it's better to have tried and failed, but never to have tried at all. That's the way I look at it. You know, give it a try.
I like you. Tracy Lee is inspirational, people. Inspirational.
I'll tell you what, somebody called me once. They called me the company aspirin. And I went, why? And he said, because you take the pain away.
Oh, hey, that's got to be your strapline.
Yeah, I've tried it. I know. That's what it is. That's what the stuff is that I do.
That's the thing that business owners want to remove is the pain. It's the thing that's giving them a headache or making them wake up at night going, ah. We all, as a business owner, we all push paper around our desk. We all do it. I do it. But eventually it has to get get done. And on a bigger scale with these larger companies where they're that busy being busy, you know, they need that support. Take away that pain. Is there anything that the people watching the group, the followers, can do to help you right now?
Well, you know, I'm always interested in some work, like we all are. But I must admit, I'm just enjoying getting to know everybody at the moment, because what I have found, you know, ever since I've been self-employed, is that all the work I've had has been through direct referral, and it's people getting to know me.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing is it's, you know, as I'm getting to know people in the group, I'm thinking, right, okay, they could be useful for this and they could be useful for that. And hopefully that's what people will be thinking as they get to know me a bit more.
Absolutely.
And I think the key thing with all of this is got to keep it simple. Yes. You know, I give people logical solutions. I improve their working practices, and I make them more efficient. Hopefully, that's the aim. And then I can go away, actually, and leave them to it. Yeah. I don't need to be this constant, you know, you get some consultants who are just there all the time going, hello, like this, and they're constantly trying to pester you. I don't do that. If they want me there, I'll help. Otherwise, I'll help and go away.
Keep it simple. I love it. Kiss. Mwah. Right. If anybody's watching on replay, please put hashtag replay. I am going to be going through all the videos of this year, and anyone who's done hashtag replay will get a prize.
Ooh.
It might be lunch with me. Ooh. It might be a scented candle. It might just be one of my dodgy jokes. Hey, who knows? But you will get something. Tracy, thank you so much for joining us today. If you could do me a massive favour when you get 5 minutes, come back to the page, and in the comments, please put all of your links so people can find you if they want to connect with you, engage with you, but more importantly, find out how you can help them. So all of the links in the comments. People, we're going to go. Thank you so much for joining us. Tracy, don't go anywhere. We'll have a little debrief. And yeah, that's me for now. On Thursday, I am with Jason Daly, photographer. Jason's a good friend of mine. Should be a good show. So join us if you can. To the pit for now, people.